for you now.
Should we hit the last song? Is that the way you usually do it?
Yeah, let's just, okay, so we talked about frame today. Not just the arms, but the whole body. So we started by talking about how to hold yourself just all the time. We talked about being on balance so that you're kind of over the balls of your feet, so that you're ready to move. And even when you're moving backwards, you still want to stay on the balls of your feet. We talked about that a little bit. Yeah, so you're just ready to move, and you want to make sure that you are connecting your whole body together when you're dancing, so that your point of connection, which is usually your hands, is what are you doing here?
I know it's your hands.
Is connected through your arms, your back. All these muscles is connecting to your center of mass, which is somewhere here. It's kind of different for everybody, but usually it's somewhere in this low abdomen. What else did we talk about? So yeah, we kind of played around with that, moving around like that on our own, and then we connected up with a partner, and we had the leads just really focus on having movement generating from that center, and then connecting everything together in one piece. Follows doing the same thing.
Right. And to start off, we have a little bit of almost like you're falling forward, some forward disposition. As I send myself forward, I send my body forward and my foot lands last, catches me. Whoosh. Whoosh. Same when I'm going backwards. I keep the forward disposition, body moves, whoosh, foot catches me. As opposed to a foot moving first. That's confusing. It's hard to transmit where your body is when your foot moves.
I can't feel that at all.
Can't feel it at all. So body moves first, foot lands after. Whoosh. Whoosh. We walked forward and backward. We did direction changes. We did fast steps. And then we added rotation. Still doing this with my body, not with my arms. So I just rotate my body. And let my frame expand, staying connected to my core. Yeah. We did rock steps also.
Yep. I was going to say we talked about when your frame is kind of relaxed, you're just kind of using just enough muscle tone to keep it held in space. But then when there's pressure on it, you use a little bit more muscle, you engage muscle just to keep it so that it maintains its integrity. So it's like oblique we talked about.
Right. So to generate the rock step, we use that principle. I already have my forward disposition. I'm engaged in my core, and that core is connected to my to the frame that we have together. And to generate a rock step, I move my center toward Bethany. Then spring compresses, and we release out of it into a bounce. So if we didn't stay connected out of that compression, we would be compelled to keep walking backward. But because we have a rope between us, a scent leg,
or
bounce.
If the connection disappeared when you were starting it, we would just like, oh,
That's so true. All right, cool. So rock step. It's keeping that forward disposition. We're trying to avoid sinking backward like this, which is a really common thing. We're staying with this forward disposition even as we step back. Rock step. Really helpful thing to practice. And then we added the jumping.
Oh yeah, we did that jump.
The down and up for fun, showing how you can use frame to do level changes as well. And we did chicken noodle soup. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, hold. Yeah.
But really, that was just to illustrate that you can just do all kinds of silly stuff when you have this direct connection.
Right. But just to reiterate, when we're practicing, moving our bodies around, body moves first, your foot catches you, and we have a forward, like a little bit of a, not falling forward, but a forward balanced disposition, even when you're walking backwards. Rock, step. Yeah.
We did this, what we call the sugar bush, where we did sort of a rock step where the lead goes forward, and then as you're coming out of it, you're switching your main point of connection over to the other side.
So we bounce off this
And then
hand
we're doing sort of a rotated rock step out of that.
and spin in
And
place.
then spin in place. That was the sugar bush. Let's do it with the count.
All right. 7, 8. 1,
1,
2,
2,
bounce,
3, 4,
bounce,
5,
5,
6, 7, 8.
Right. So we're coming with here, compressing. At this point, we bounce off the leads right follows left connection. We immediately bounce off the other side connection into a spin in place. At no point are we doing any kind of manipulation with the arm. We're practicing.
Yeah, that spin in place, he's just spinning his body and keeping his hands connected to it. There's no tossing or anything.
Right. One last point on that. Out of here, I'm not stepping away and expanding. I'm rotating in place. Rotate, drag my right hip in, rotate in place. Yeah, so at speed it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kind of a weird move that's just meant to illustrate a bunch of frame principles of how to use your frame. And then we did
Burning?
the burning. Is that?
Is that next?
I think so.
So the burning, this is a little Hollywood style move. We do a little rock step, a tiny bit of rotation in this rock step, and then a step, and then you keep your weight on the back foot and just kind of do this step down with the front foot,
Touchdown.
not weighted. I mean touchdown, touch, and then tap, tap.
Right. And I was telling some people toward the end, once you get the feel of it, the rotation isn't as big of a deal. You can just do a quick hold. Quick hold. Right.
But where the rotation comes in, that's a little bit helpful because sometimes when you're doing a rock step and you're in that position, people might assume that you're going to go to Charleston, so they might not catch that as easily. If you do a little bit of a twist, it can make it a little easier to follow.
So from the side, just a couple things you can play with on the burning. The basic is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can play with going back and forth on this. You can play with just gesturing that foot out. We accomplish that by slightly moving your center forward, but you don't commit to a full weight change. You can even practice doing that with back steps as well. So lots of fun stuff to play with there. And I think that was it, wasn't it?
I think so.
Actually, do you guys mind mentioning one more thing?
Yeah.
Which is that exercise we did, just like making sure we stay forward as we're walking backwards.
Yeah.
That was really helpful, I think.
Yeah. So we're gonna have that sort of weight over the ball of the foot.
We find that by, you can find it by going up on releve, they call it in the ballet world.
Yeah, so you could practice it at first just by being like way up on your toes and walking backwards like that, and then you can kind of relax down into it if that helps. But yeah, you want to just stay in a forward position, ready to move forward even when you're going backwards.
Right. So you'll recognize this position from, if you watch video of the old dancers, their rock steps, they're not leaning away.
Right.
Generally speaking, the Savoy dancers at least have this forward disposition even when they rock step. So practicing walking backwards will give you the technique to do a rock step that your partner can feel. When you lean, it tends to be heavy and you lose where your partner's weight is.
Yay.
Yeah.